Hey everyone, it's SG Holyman, and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about my top 10 PS4 games so far. They did this last week on PS I Love You XOXO, and it was a great episode, and that got me thinking about what my top 10 PS4 games would be. Uh, Also, I really don't do a lot of lists on this channel, so I thought this would be a great place to start. But like I said, don't expect a whole lot of lists. This is just going to be the first one, and I'm going to see how this does. Before I get started, I will say I'm going to keep most of the rules that they had. So, uh, hang on, I lost it. All right, it's back. No ports, no remasters, unless there was quite a bit of work done. But in my list, I don't have any remasters anyway, or ports or anything. Also, there are some games that I did play on PS4, but I would actually consider Vita games, so I didn't include those either. The one thing I have changed though is that instead of three honorable mentions, I have four, because I just couldn't keep it to three. So, yeah, with that out of the way, I'll get the list started. So I forgot to add some context. This is August 31st, 2016, about to head into September. So if anybody comes back to watch this video, you have an idea of when this list was made. So, sorry, with that out of the way, I'll get into my honorable mentions. And the first one I have is Destiny. Uh, Simply because of all the hours I put into it, especially that was like a year, basically a year into the PS4 life cycle. Uh, Still really fun shooting. Uh, they've improved on it a lot with Taken King and just all the updates they've put out. And then Rise of Iron is about to come out. I'm probably not going to jump into it. But if you're looking for some fun first person shooting, some great cooperation, and if you're just if you're looking for just a game like that, then I would actually recommend Destiny to you. Uh, my second honorable mention is Infamous Second Son and its standalone DLC First Light, bending the rules a little bit. Uh, I will say that First Light is better than Second Son, but I really like Second Son. It's not the best Infamous game, but I will say it is the most fun to play, and of course it looks the best. The only thing I didn't like about it was the story, and Delson is just a terrible character. Uh, but uh, yeah, if you just want a pretty fun game to mess around with, I would recommend Infamous Second Son. Uh, my third honorable mention is Doom. Uh, that campaign is fantastic, and mainly the sole reason to play that game is for that fantastic campaign. Once again, great shooting, uh, really fast. The game's pretty aggressive too, and yeah, it's just old school. Uh, no reloading, no. It's all like bullet counts, and you gotta get your health pickups and armor pickups. And yeah, it's definitely a Game of the Year contender for me this year. And the multiplayer, I can see why people don't like the multiplayer, but I had fun with it. Uh, so, yeah, that's my third one. And my final honorable mention is Mad Max. Uh, Mad Max is really underrated. It's a great game. It's gorgeous. The car combat is awesome, and it has an interesting story. It's a lot like the Mad Max movies. Uh, but if you like the Ubisoft games and the just taking over territories and getting the checkboxes and all that, then you can have a lot of fun with Mad Max. So that's it for my honorable mentions. So now I'll get into my actual list. So number 10 is a total me answer, but I had to put MLB 16 the show. The show is a fantastic series of baseball games, and I feel like this year is probably the best one we've had on PS4 so far. And this is coming from a guy who mainly only plays Road to the Show. Uh, they made a lot of, well, not a lot of changes, but they made quite a few changes to Road to the Show this year, and I really liked a lot of them. And I don't know, the games are just fun to play, and I don't really play a lot online, but I heard somewhere that online was greatly improved, so that's good. And I also know they made a few changes to franchise, and I've been wanting to get into franchise, but I just haven't really had the time. Uh, but uh, like I said, the games are super fun. They're the best on the market, really the only ones. But when you're the best and you drive the competition out of the market, and you still are able to find ways to improve on your game, that's impressive. So yeah, for all those reasons, that's why I have to put MLB 16 The Show at number. So at number 9, I have Until Dawn. They really outdid Quantic Dream at their own game, and the butterfly effect system is super interesting. Even though you don't have the number of choices to make as you would in a lot of other choice-based and consequence-based games, you really, uh, what was I going to say? Oh, the binary system, like the binary nature of the choices that you make, are what makes the game interesting to me. And I also love how uh, the story really is that everybody can live or anybody can die. And uh, yeah, the story is also pretty great. It's a great horror story. And I'm interested to see what the next game is, because I know there's a rumor that they're going to make Until Dawn 2, but I don't know. I just like to see what they do with it. Oh, God, sorry. Um, what else was I saying? Oh, and it has a lot of great mocap and voice acting. Although I will say that it does dip into the uncanny valley at times. Doesn't happen too much, and the game just looks fantastic, and it's a fantastic score that they made. And yeah, if you're looking for a great choice-based and consequence-based Quantic Dream esque type game, I would highly recommend. Sorry, wow. This is like my third time recording this, so I'm not going to go back and edit that out. Sorry. But I would highly recommend getting Until Dawn. So at number 8, I have The Witness. It is a fantastic puzzle game made by Jonathan Blow and Thekla Games. I did a review, and by the way, some of these games I did reviews for, some of the games I have Let's Plays and playthroughs for. So I'll link to the description below if you want to check them out. But as far as The Witness, great puzzle design, and it really is like learning a new language when trying to figure out all the different puzzles that the island has to offer. And just the way that the island itself is put together, like there's a lot of different site puzzles that you can see, and I don't know, it's just so well designed as a puzzle game. And again, it's another top game of the year contender for me. And also I've been reviewing for 2.5 years now. I was blogging before YouTube, and this is the only game that I've reviewed that I've given a masterpiece to. So, anything else I wanted to talk about it? Oh yeah, great. It has a great aesthetic to it. Thought I had more to talk about with that, but no, I just think the game looks great. And if you're into puzzle games, it's on sale right now for like $20, and it's typically $40. and in my opinion, it's worth $40, but $23 is a pretty good deal for it. Like I said, I have The Witness at number 8 on my list. At number 7, I have Transistor. I love this game. It's by Supergiant. They're the guys who did Bastion. And this game is better than Bastion on a gameplay level. Uh, I would say that Bastion is a little bit better as a story, but I just think that Transistor is the better game. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of an isometric view, and you walk around as a lady named Red with a giant talking sword. I won't say much more because it gets into spoiler territory, but you just go around in a cyberpunk world and you defeat enemies and you gain abilities and you can swap out abilities left and right. Like I said, I have a series on it, so I'll link to the first episode in the description below if you want to check it out. And yeah, also one of the best soundtracks, not only on the PS4, but that I've heard just ever. I know there's a few soundtracks that are better than it, but that is one that I would love to own and just listen to on my way to work. And I can't really say enough about Transistor. It's just a great game, and it definitely deserves this spot on the list. At number 6, I have Ratchet and Clank, and I'm talking about the reimagining that came out this year. It's a fantastic game. It has great controls, fun platforming, also great writing, and I will say that it is one of the best looking games on PS4. The idea that they've had for it for the longest time was that these games are supposed to look like Pixar games, and there are times when it looks like you really are playing a Pixar game. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I should say. I don't know. I'm just glad to see that Ratchet and Clank is back in a meaningful way, and I'll be interested to see what the sequel looks like. Hopefully they treat it with a bit more care and we don't see it for another 3 years. That'd be fun. So, yeah. At number 6, I have Ratchet and Clank. At number 5, I have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Anybody who knows me knows that I do have some issues with the game. I don't think the game is really that fun to play, and the world is too big, and there is just way too much to do. But I really love the story. I love the aesthetics. I love the characters, and the lore is just fantastic. And those reasons alone put it at the top of my list. Well, not at the top, but right where it is. And also, it has 2 fantastic pieces of DLC. And I don't know. It's just, they're so good. And if anybody is looking for a huge open world game to just dig into and just experience a great story with fantastic writing and fantastic voice work, I cannot recommend The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt enough to you, even though the gameplay is boring. At number 4, I have Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I'll be honest, The Phantom Pain is my first Metal Gear game, and I really enjoyed it. It has superb third-person stealth gameplay. I also like how everything just kind of works together, and you just slowly build up everything as you go, and I think it's just fantastic. And yeah, once again, it just feels great to play and it feels great to build up mother base and to unlock all of your things. I will say that the story was a little bit lacking, uh, even for me. And like I said, I've never played a Metal Gear game before, but there wasn't really a lot of story, and I've always heard that the stories in Metal Gear were great. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I still think that The Phantom Pain is a fantastic game. It definitely deserves to be played. It's a great swan song for Kojima, and definitely the last game I'll be buying from Konami. But yeah, at number 4, I have Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'll admit that this list was fairly difficult for me to make, but my top 3 were set in stone fairly early and I feel confident about them. So at number 3, I have Rocket League. Um, I love Rocket League. It's fantastic gameplay, and I love how it's just easy to pick up and difficult to master. And yeah, anybody can pick up the game and just play it, and anybody can have a good time with the game. And yeah, I just love it. And I will say that I did get fairly good at it, and I do have the platinum, and I need to go back and pick up the new trophies that they added not too long ago, mainly for the basketball mode and some other things, even though I'll admit that I'm not a big fan of the basketball mode. Um, I also just think that the soundtrack is fantastic, and they got all the physics right, and it's just super fun to play. And yeah, I cannot recommend Rocket League enough. Now, this is going to be weird because I ran out of space uh, to record these. Like, I can't record any more not video, audio clips anymore. So I'm just going to have to let this run while I finish out the video. And with that said, at number 2, I have Bloodborne. Uh, Bloodborne is fantastic. It's by From Software. It was my game of the year last year. It has great gameplay. Anybody who's familiar with the Souls gameplay will know this game. Will know this game. Will know how the game plays. Never played Dark Souls, but I do know that Bloodborne is a bit faster. And I think even if I played like Dark Souls 3 or anything, I think I would like Bloodborne more simply because you are going a bit faster. And the world is just beautiful, and it's just like got that gothic feel to it, and it has great sound design, great enemy design. Environments are fantastic, like just the whole aesthetic, and it's very rewarding when you defeat a boss. And I haven't felt that much reward for accomplishing anything in a game like that in a while. So, yeah, I have Bloodborne at number 2, and I'll let this run for a minute while I get ready to tell you my number 1 game. And to me, it's obvious what number 1 is, and that is Uncharted 4. Uh, of course, Uncharted 4, the end of the Uncharted series. I guess I should say the end of the Nathan Drake run, blah, 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 because they might bring it back in 10 years. But, fantastic game. I know that they technically took some features out, like the throwing back the grenades and some other things, but I just love how the game plays. It's a little samey, but it still feels great to actually play the game. The story is fantastic. And I also just love like all the set pieces. Like there's not a lot of them, but the ones that they do have, like the clock, and this is in the E3 demo, but being dragged behind on the trailers and all that. Uh, there's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of detail in it, and it just really, really made me feel like I was in a like Pulp Fiction adventure, and I really enjoyed it. Uh, and also, of course, great voice acting. And I do think that this is the best Uncharted game, uh, which is saying a lot because they're all fantastic. And if you haven't played uh, any of the other three games before, I would recommend playing them before playing Uncharted 4. But I will say it's not necessary, but you will get a lot out of Uncharted 4 if you've played the original trilogy. Uh, and I just cannot sing Uncharted 4 praises enough. So, yeah, Uncharted 4, my number one, and I think it's obvious. And, uh, yeah, that is it for this list. That was an interesting ending to the video. Hopefully, it goes well. Uh, so, if you liked what you've seen, you can go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more video game reviews, vlogs, let's plays, streams, and all that good gaming stuff. And keep in mind that I do have reviews and let's play series for some of these games on my channel. And if you want to go see me play some of them or just get a more in-depth review for some of the games, I'll leave links in the description below. And also, what'd you think about my list? And I'd love to hear what your guys' top 10, like what you guys think that your top 10 best games are on the PS4 as of right now. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll come by, I'll check it out, we can have a discussion. And yeah, also, sorry, like I said, I'm taking a week off from doing any streaming or Let's Plays. I'll be back next Monday at, oh, it's Labor Day. Should be back at 8, unless I'm doing something. I'll let you guys know. But I will be playing Guacamelee. Mainly because I want to. I've been wanting to play Dishonored, but I'm not really feeling it right now, so maybe I'll feel it after I play some Guacamelee. But, yeah.